is up, everyone? Welcome to part 2. We are back, and I forgot how much stuff was still here. So yeah, just as a little reminder, although it hasn't been that long, this is how we're looking. So right, I'm going to try and think about everything in a really logical way. We're going to work through it. I've got some boxes out here that I can stack stuff in. So I've got 2 big crates, a little box for little things, and a massive carrier bag for the lighter items. We'll get these guitars out of the way, and then we will start working through some of this smaller stuff. I think we will actually tackle that end, but we'll just kind of do what we did the other day and go back and forth between the 2 sides, I think, just to try and evenly do it. So I'll probably take these boxes back today because at least they're organised, so they take minimal effort to actually take back. And yeah, I don't have a plan actually. You can probably tell. I'm trying to make it sound as if I know what I'm doing, but yeah, all I know is I need to get this stuff moved and sold. So let's do it. Episode 2, here we come. So I've got my first box packed up here, and basically what we have is all of the empty boxes for the Hackintosh components, a few other random empty boxes because they just, you know, stack nicely, obviously. Got a couple of these old school Asus motherboards that are boxed. Man, we could do something awesome with those one day if I have the time and the rest of the components to make an old school system or something. I may sell the bigger one, keep the smaller one or something. I'll have to really look into that. But what I really wanted to show you was this. This is the legendary motherboard that came from one of the free PCs that I had way back in the day. And this motherboard lived through so many different machines. It's dodgy as heck because of the flex. The flex in this board is insane. But it lived through my parents' first PC build. That's where it first lived, and it lived in there fantastically. I believe this is an Athlon 3800 Plus, which is a 2 gigahertz dual core. Is it dual core? I don't know, can't remember. Yes, it is. It's an Athlon X2, I think. Anyway, it's been way too long. And then after I think 2013, when I built the second PC for my parents with the brand new components, the APU build, this eventually found its way into the spare parts gaming PC, that machine, and then obviously I got that motherboard as a donation. So this is a legendary little board. I can't see myself ever getting rid of it. We've had too much fun with it on the channel. It's not worth any money, so I'm keeping it. And I've got the RAM in the board, all 4 sticks and CPU and cooler. So yeah, sweet. That's one box packed up. It took about 2 seconds. And it's made approximately 0 difference. Oh, one cool thing that I did find though is, this may not be that exciting, but this is one of those massively bulky remote controls for a VHS VCR from the 90s. This is a Sony one. I think this flap opens. There we go, that's more like it. So obviously before the advancements in on-screen menus, there were a lot more buttons on remote controllers. So this is sort of mid-90s, I would guess, mid to late 90s. And what I noticed browsing eBay, looking at VCRs specifically, is if they come with their original remote, they tend to be a lot more expensive because of how complicated and hard to find these remotes are. So, you know, it's even got like a full-size jog wheel on it. Just these, I even remember as a kid, people that had these remotes, just, you know, fascinating, you know, humongous piece of technology sitting there. Just crazy. Obviously you can buy like generic looking remotes. This is for a DVD player, but if you go on eBay and you want to buy a remote for your VCR that hasn't come with one, then you can get a really generic-y looking remote that'll work with it. But this will probably sell for some money, and I do have a model that I can test this remote with, I believe. So I have a remote similar to this at home for a Sony VCR, but it's not quite as advanced. So yes, indeed, that will be something that can actually sell, I believe. And basically the point I was trying to make was, it's kind of crazy that I can make some money by selling a remote control for a VCR. This little stack alone is going to provide quite a bit of entertainment for us over the next couple of months. Basically, here we have all of the free laptops that starred in that video, plus some other laptops. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here altogether. They're all going to be sold. I don't even know if they all work, but what we'll do is we'll check them all out one by one individually, and sell them and do whatever needs to be done. And then a nice easy sale on top here that will raise some funds is this Cisco modem router. So I had the opportunity to pick this up before I moved. I didn't know if it would be usable to me, but I couldn't pass it up. And you guys know my workflow at home now, my network. This would not be usable to me, but it will be usable to someone out there. And should raise a little bit of cash. So that is nice. I do have the power supply for that. So indeed, there it is. I'm going to plod on anyway and try and get some more progress done before I give you guys the next update. Here's a couple of really old school bits of kit. This is a realistic DJ mixer. Stereo disco mixer, sorry. Nice VU meters on the top. I believe realistic. I had that small little amplifier as well. I believe that it was a Maplin's thing, or at least Maplin's sold realistic stuff. This is 80s, mid to late 80s, early 90s, at a guess. So various inputs and toggles, you know, nice little retro DJ mixer. It may sell. I don't really know the market for these sorts of things. I don't have the power supply, unfortunately. It came from work, believe it or not. It was just in the back room in work, just chilling out. And yeah, I was given this years and years ago in work. It used to run something, I guess. So, yeah. And then something slightly more interesting is this. And I have the box for this. This is a video character generator. And as you can see, it's got SCART, input and output, various options here for generating text on a video signal, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it just makes you really thankful for what we have today. You know, in terms of our editing and whatnot. The fact that, you know, gosh, just look at this. This would take some learning as well to use. Wow. Incredible. So, yeah, I'll hopefully get something for this. I mean, I don't know what the market is for this old school hobbyist video editing type equipment, but there's got to be someone out there. You know, if I had the time and the space to set up a massive, you know, 3-deck Super VHS or whatever editing den with all of these gadgets, you know, I'd do it. You guys know me, I'd absolutely do it. But, you know, let's be fair, come on, I've got to try and control myself somewhere along the line. So yeah. I've shown these on the channel before, but I want to show them again. I'm going to keep hold of these for a long time. These are Woolworths 3-hour blank VHS tapes. I am keeping these. eBay, 40 years time. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Woolworths. It's already beginning to be quite cool and in to collect Woolworths stuff. So, yeah. I've got some Woolworths Polly Pockets as well. I'll have to put them in the same place. There it is, guys. Look at that. For those of you who do not recognise this, this was a very fun time on the channel. This is eBay's cheapest case of 2012, 2011, something along those lines, maybe even 2010. Officially the cheapest case available in the UK on eBay at the time of purchase, after typing in ATX case and sorting in order of price. So there it is, gorgeous. And I still have a PSU in it. It's a PSU I got from the car boot sale, and it's actually in the front of this case underneath. There's a pass-through for power there. It's actually quite a neat design, to be perfectly honest. It's an iQute PSU, which was, again, a Maplin's thing. Got it in the car boot sale for £3, £5, something like that. So this case, that PSU, the motherboard that I showed you guys earlier, the red one with the Athlon in it, 320 gig hard drive from somewhere. That was the first custom build I did for my parents. And it was a gorgeous little machine. It rocked. It really did. A little dent in the top. Oh, man. So, yeah, no idea what to do with this case. it would make some kind of absolutely awesome, like, junk system, you know, just to play around with. But again, time, you know, I've got all of these wonderful things, you know, where do I have the time? Like, not the time to build it, but once it's built, what the hell do I do with it? So, I don't know, maybe we could build a system in it and then do some kind of crazy IMNC giveaway or something. I really don't know. Maybe I could rebuild the original parents' PC and give it away, you know? I don't know. If anyone can think of anything I can do with some of this stuff, you know, this stuff that is not worth anything, you know, it's like a tenner brand new, or 12 quid brand new or something like that. If anyone can think of it, think of something I could do, then, you know, let me know. I'd love to know what to do with that. So this is a massive trip back in time for me. This is my first ever mixer. You are looking at the start of it all of that nerdiness, all the sound stuff, everything. This is what started it all. So basically I had this amplifier. I showed you guys the guitars last time in episode 1. So in Argos at the time you could get a Strat and this amplifier, and you know, we discussed how many years ago it was, 17 years ago or whatever. This amplifier and the Strat for 200 quid, and this amplifier has one input. So I used to sing as well. I used to sing as a kid, and I remember one Christmas I got a microphone and we went and bought a microphone stand, and the microphone actually is, did I show it in episode 1? Because it was around here. I think I did I? Where's that gone all of a sudden? Ah, here it is. I got it. Here it is. So it's actually the same make. This little microphone was, wow, this brings back memories as well. Even though all this stuff was up here, you know, not, you know, I've obviously seen it, but just, you know, reminiscing. Yeah, this microphone. So basically, I wanted to plug my guitar and the microphone into the guitar amp to, you know, amplify myself. Trick was never to use the distortion setting when I was singing as well. So yeah, we went to the music shop and this little box allowed me to do that. So guitar in on one, microphone on another. Obviously one knob is broken off, and then a master volume on that. So brilliant. And I've still got the mic stand as well, nice chrome mic stand. So don't know what I'll do with these. Really don't know. So we've got 2 nice big boxes full to go down, and I've taken all of those guitars down obviously, so that's a lot. I've got this nice little box that I can use for little pieces, and we can put some lighter things in this bag also. So as you can now see, we've made hell of a dent in this area, and there's a lot of boxes here already, so we can just pack these a little tighter, get some of this overflow and shove it all in. And the progress is actually looking pretty sweet in this corner then, and it's really broken the back of this because the rest is just all random and it looks worse than it is. When you actually start looking, there's a lot less stuff up here now. You know, all of that used to be full, and I've gradually sorted it. Look at that gorgeous amplifier, AX2, nice. We'll delve back there in a future episode probably. Not really worth going back there now when we've still got all of this here. So it just makes sense to work with what we've got in front of us. Couple of top loader VHS machines there. Not sure on the make, can't remember. That's a Granada, and this one is a Ferguson. So they are both top loaders, and neither of them function, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's a top loader as well. I just found in this little pouch my PSP 1000. I did a shell change on it ages ago that didn't go that successfully because I didn't do the back, and something happened to these buttons. All these buttons feel really mushy. Really can't remember what happened now. But yeah, there it is, and it's got GTA Vice City Stories in the drive, and I do have that case somewhere. So, nice find, the old PSP there that I bought in college actually. So yeah, nice. Motherboard for Power Mac G4, along with various other G4 components and other random things. So I'm going to pack this box a little neater. I have a load of CPUs in there, as you can see. Also have a load of CPUs in there. So, quite a few things to take care of. Random AV cables. People just give me this sort of stuff. SCART, splitter, doodad. All sorts in here. Load of Power Mac G4 screws. I remember that they're in there, in that ice cream tub. Yeah, all G4 stuff. This is the majority of the stuff that I took out of the Quicksilver to make it into the Hackintosh. So we got the heatsink there. That's the power supply. All of this is working, I believe, or at least it was when I took it out. So that's pretty good. CPU there. Pentium 4, 3.6 gigahertz. All sorts knocking around. So what I've done to make things a bit easier, I was constantly pushing my way past this drum kit. I've just pushed it against the back wall. Everything that was where that is, I've just shoved out here out of the way. All that's behind it is that random stuff on the shelf and the 3 guitar amplifiers. So yeah, that's nothing to worry about for now, so that can all just stay there. I've taken every cable that was on the floor, or most cables. Anything that you see left dangling is hardwired to stuff. I've taken all the cables and put them in this bag, and this weighs an absolute ton. So annoyingly, the power supplies to some of the items in that box and various other items here are in here, and also some proprietary kind of cables as well. Some multi-pin connector cables that I just don't know what they match. That is one of the main things that was actually putting me off ever delving through any of this stuff, is the fact that everything was just everywhere, and I knew I was missing several components or whatever to a specific item. And a good example of that was a little while ago I sold a retro Apple CD-ROM drive, an external CD-ROM drive, and afterwards, months afterwards, I found the original cable, the original power cable for it, which I didn't sell with it, and I found the original instruction manual. So worthless on their own, but it would have probably got me more money if I sold them with the CD-ROM drive. So I'm always nervous of selling items and I still have other bits to go with them left, and I just don't know. So that's why it's important that I kind of, if I can get rid of the simple stuff first and then all the difficult stuff is left, I can maybe then try and catalogue it somehow. Yes, I almost need like an inventory system. It's that ridiculous. It's stupid that I let myself get into this state. It really is stupid. And I had some comments on the previous part. People are like, oh, you know, a hoarder or whatever. And I'm not a hoarder. I have a lot of stuff, but if you look at the definition of a hoarder, I am not one of those. I've just been sort of wrong place, wrong time, and no time, you know? That's the best way I can describe it, really. Over-ambitious with the projects I want to do as well. That's a big bit of the problem. Anyway, I'm now left with that big carry bag full of cables, so there's that. And I've also got some recycling of some boxes. All these boxes just go straight in the recycling. I've sorted out this box. This is all Power Mac stuff and other computer components. So any computer components I find can go in there. And unfortunately, I'm flashing red on my battery, and the 2 other batteries I have are both flat. So yeah, I may have to swap to my phone, which would kind of suck because I hate recording with my phone. It just sucks so bad. Yeah, you know, iPhone 8, you know, pretty brand new handset, but I much prefer a proper camera. Anyway, let's continue. So I've got rid of all of the cabling underneath the desk. The only cables remain are for the mixer and the mixer's power supply, because if I do sell it, it may be possible that I'd have to come up here and demo it working to someone, so I thought it was best to keep that all plugged in, really, just in case. And then this compressor is hardwired, so that's sitting in there. Obviously it's not crucial that I have to tackle the rack right now and get rid of those items, but all of that cabling is gone. The main multi-core is there. Unfortunately, the XLR socket on the first channel is broken, so really kind of gutted about that, because it will involve time and effort to change it. I was just going to give it to work and it would have been a nice 8-way run to the other side of the stage from the main 32 channel stage box, but one of the channels is not usable, so that's a bit gutting. Then we've got 2 TRS 8-way little looms, and these are quite bizarre cables with a very kind of niche use. They are TRS insert cables, but instead of male jacks they are female. Very handy if you've got one of those interfaces like I had, like the Mackie Blackbird, where the last 4 outputs double up as headphone jacks. So you take this, and if you want to get 4 outputs down a loom like this, so to and from a mixing desk, you can achieve it with these cables. These were expensive, and they're not even the highest quality cables. So yeah, that's those. I'll probably never ever need a cable like that again in my life. And I never did sort out the studio power solution. I had one PDU in the rack, and I did have a conditioner, but I never quite got there with finishing off the power cabling. So yeah, I've kind of slowed a little bit, unfortunately. Progress is looking less, but all these things need to be done. Some more time has passed, and we've got another little update. Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of carpet now, which is quite pleasing. Cleared a lot of the stuff there, packed a load of these boxes. This is all rubbish, so got quite a lot going. That crossover box is empty, but I keep it just in case, because when we do eventually upgrade in work to a speaker management system, a digital crossover with all the bells and whistles, which I'd love to do, I will sell the old crossover because I won't have a use for it, so they can partially fund the new one or whatever. Don't know where the PC is that matches that side panel. I've got a feeling it's out here somewhere under some of this stuff. So yeah, that can be investigated in the future. These over here, quite interesting. Karaoke discs. I've got 3 wallets of karaoke discs and a book of songs all organised. So that can be sold with... I've got a karaoke deck. I've got a DVD karaoke machine with remote control. It's that black unit over there, made by Cam. So pretty chuffed that I found all of that. Unfortunately, I don't have the microphones anymore. I did have a radio mic kit to go with it as well, 2 wireless microphones, but sadly lent those out and they are gone. Not sure if I mentioned it, but this box here is full of CDs, full of audio CDs. It's not quite full to the brim. I really don't know what to do with that, because I've imported them all years ago, but do I import them all again at a higher quality? I don't know. I can't remember the existing quality I imported them. Just again, the T word, T-I-M-E. Ah, man. Anyway, stay positive. Stay positive. And I've just spotted out the corner of my eye a pair of headphones, Gemini headphones. So excellent. Ooh, and look at that. That is a USB light. Nice. Bonus. Here's a little gem. I wondered where this had got to. Looking a little worse for wear. But yeah, I've got the other bits for it at home, so it can go there. I never did have the case for mine, so it was a bonus I got with one of the iMac G3s along the way. All the info is on the channel somewhere. I've put the side panels back on this PC and fired her up. Every spare hard drive sled that I found, I've put back in. Some of them aren't in there, so hopefully I'll come across them. And also I haven't come across these drive covers, but hopefully I'll find those as well. I know there was an optical drive here, and then of course I had that old Thermaltake power supply, and it had a fan controller on it, so that was there. But yeah, she fires up, she appears to work. They've got nothing from the front fans, I assume it's just unplugged or something in the back end. But it's nice to see it pinging to life. We will revisit this at some point, and I want to, make sure it's all complete, all the screws, take out the board, put the I/O shield in, stuff like that. So that's it for today. I've taken all the stuff down that I've packed away. Yeah, huge progress today. And I finally found some ties to wrap this multi-core neatly. So there's that. All the stuff is away from the desk. This patch panel and stuff that was here. All the loose screws in one pile. So it's just the PC, some brackets and dividers and stuff. Looking pretty empty up here now compared to how it was anyway. Took away most of the stuff from underneath. Yeah, a couple more sessions and we'll have it, I think. So all the stuff is back, and it has done that thing just like it did last week. It didn't look like very much, but it looks like loads now. So there's some in there. There's a stack with that case on the bottom, a couple of boxes. a few miscellaneous bits, and then 2 big crates, all those guitars. Quite a mixture of stuff, really. So the only bummer is I've got to take all this stuff out of these crates because I'm going to reuse these. I've got these 2 and the one I had from last week, so 3 crates total for transporting stuff back and forth, which is great. So I'm going to decant all of this stuff straight into the attic. But as for the cardboard boxes, they can all go up as they are, and I can sort those as and when I've got time. So the attic hatch is open, and we are basically going to relive every step from last week. The deja vu commences. Let's go up. There is a slight difference this time. Check out how crammed it is up here. Basically, all I've done is plonked everything at the top of the ladder, so that's why it looks so bad. What we're going to try and do now is get this attic to swallow some of this stuff and still keep this main area free, or at least somewhat free. So if I do a lot of rearranging, it can be done, because a lot of this stuff is just sort of precariously balanced. Whatever the word is. And obviously this is just junk and mess. So, yeah, there's some space to be utilised on those shelves as well, actually. So, yes, let's do it, man. Well, would you look at that? It didn't even make a difference, really. Obviously made some difference, but it just means we've come out a little more here, which is fine. It's just that PC case, and there's all little bits and bobs in there from ItsMyNaturalColour Mark 1. Loads of random stuff. All the Hackintosh boxes. Then over here, that's not an era appropriate VCR for that setup. It's just sitting there purely because it's a space for it to go for the moment. All the laptops are stacked underneath that cam karaoke player and the original Xbox there. Not the greatest of ideas, but you know, it'll be fine. And that shelf is looking pretty damn full now, so that's okay. Over here, I've just put some stuff aside that'll be really easy to sell that I just cherry picked right now. So we've got this Behringer patch bay. This will be really easy to sell because it's just as it is. Doesn't need testing or anything. It just, you know, it's just a patch bay. And then we've got this Cisco router, so I can plug this in, reset it to factory default, and flog this as well. So there are 2 things I can flog really easily quite soon. We're going away for a few days. It's half term next week, so we're going to be going away. But after then, I hope to knuckle down and get it all done. Here's the motherboard. I think, thinking on it, we will rebuild the machine because the PSU is in there. It's just a case of bunging the board in the case, and hard drive, and whoop-de-doo, sorted. So, on a video card, but I've got tons of video cards knocking around. So, again, I am feeling very positive. It's the end of episode 2. One thing I wanted to do in episode 2 was go into ItsMyNaturalColour Mark 1 and show you guys the progress in there. But we'll hopefully do that in episode 3. I was in the flow with upstairs, so I went for upstairs first, and as you guys can see, it's nearly done up there now. So what I'm going to try and do, I've had some more reflections. It seems to be when I take stuff home is when a lot of my ideas develop and I actually get it packed in up here. I'm going to take a photo of that big Studio Master mixer, see if anybody wants the mixer and the desk as one, because that would be really cool. If someone can come and collect it, we can dismantle it, and it would be great. You know, it would be lovely if someone could get some use from it. It really, really would. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to set one of the drum kits up, take a photo of it, flog one of them, just decide which one to sell. If I need to get rid of one of them. I want to keep them both, but one is fine, so I'll just flog the one I've got cases for, I think. And it'll be sad to see it go, but yeah, it's just a drum kit, it's just a possession, so keep one drum kit. I'll have space up there now that I've cleared up to take some photographs. So it is all coming along so nicely. Thank you for following along with this episode 2. I'll hopefully see you guys pretty soon in episode 3. It might be a longer delay this time because we're going away, so we're away over a Thursday. I'm doing this every week on a Thursday, by the way. Thursday morning at my parents' house. So I'm missing one Thursday, so episode 3 might be a little bit later. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I shall see you in the next video.